I have to take Polaroids. I wanna die. And they also want measurements. I'd rather jump out the window than take my measurements right now. I don't want to take my measurements. Oh, that shit is so... That shit is traumatizing. Like, bro, if I see... I think that goes for, like, every model. Like, if they hear measurements or, like, they see a measurement, they just want to fucking run. I don't want to do it. It's not that bad. And also, like, it's just for, like, an option. That's not gonna turn into anything anyway, but... I don't want to put on my heels right now. I look like a potato. Oh, gar kein Bock. But yeah, the light is going, so I have to take them now. Oh, fuck it. I just took Polaroids. And I'm in my underwear, so the whole neighborhood just saw me, like, in my underwear taking pictures of myself like a stick. I hate shit. It's not that bad, it's just a little anxiety inducing because you know you're about to get judged on your body, like if you're skinny enough, which is, you know, not the best experience. No, like, I mean, it's annoying because, like, you obviously, like, they always tell you, like, oh, don't take it personal. And it's obviously, you know, sometimes, like, they're looking for a certain type of girl. So then, like, it's obviously not personal, but if you just don't fit the, you know, the picture they had in mind. But it's so hard to take something not personal if they're literally looking at you and deciding if you're, like, good enough. You know? It's quite hard to try to not take that personal. And it's so funny because nowadays it's, you know, it's all about, like, body positivity and, like, loving yourself the way you are, like, naturally. And there's so much positive, like, affirmations out there, like, or just, like, really positive body positive mindsets. And then it's so hard if your job is literally the opposite of that. I mean, I don't do modeling full-time anymore, and, like, bro, I have, like, maybe 2 castings a month and maybe, like, an option, which is really not enough. Not enough. I mean, it's not a lot because I decided I wanted to focus on my studies and I didn't want to be, you know, living that lifestyle anymore where I always have to watch what I'm eating. And, you know, it was just very limited. Like, it was so much fun. And, you know, I'm so grateful that I got to do all of these things and that I got to work with so many amazing people and got to travel and everything. And I'm so grateful for that. But it's also really, really, really intense lifestyle, which was just, in my opinion, not really sustainable. And I think it's not sustainable for a lot of the girls. That's why so many girls, you know, like, it's so... It honestly makes me feel so normal. Like, when I see girls that started modeling with me for, like, I don't know, like, fucking 10 years ago, and when I see them all after they stop, like, it's just natural to gain weight. And it's so, you know, like, it's none of us, like, I swear to God, it's so funny when people say, like, oh, she's naturally skinny, she's naturally this way, like, that's just her body type. Bro, I am telling you, maybe 1%, if any, girls have that body type that is required for modeling, especially high fashion modeling, especially fashion week modeling, because the measurements that are required for being a runway model or, like, just a high fashion model, having those measurements naturally without having to fucking restrict the shit out of your diet is slim to nothing. Like, I've lived with dozens of girls over, over my span of my career. Like, I always lived in model apartments. I was living with models all the time. And I'm telling you, I think I've seen like a healthy relationship to food that is like being healthy, but also like not restricting, and not like under eating. Although the under eating is questionable. Like, the calorie intake that you have to eat. Sorry, I should probably put a trigger warning. Trigger warning. Dieting and eating. I'm gonna put that before. For the measurements that are required to get that type of physique, you have to restrain your calories intake. Like, you have to eat so little. And it's like barely any girl is that state naturally. Like, no one has that body type, especially not as a grown woman. Like, if you're over the age of 18, your body is gonna change and your hips are gonna be wider. And you're just gonna have a woman. And plus, we are all insanely tall. Or, like, not insanely tall, but, like, we're all, like, between, like, 177 and 183, which is really tall. And at that height, having the measurements that they required, like, having a 90 centimeter hip at 180 meter tall, it's so insane. Like, you have to be so skinny, and no one can fucking, like, that's why, like, all the girls that I know that are not, like, the main focus is not modeling anymore, almost every single girl that I follow on Instagram has gained weight and just looks really healthy and natural and still slim and skinny, or, like, whatever skinny. Like, they look so beautiful and they look so healthy. And it's so, like, back then I always thought, like, oh, like, am I the only one that's, like, struggling so fucking much and that has to, like, put all my energy into thinking about what I'm gonna eat, what I won't eat, how often I'm gonna eat? Or does that come naturally to other girls? Like, is it easier for them? But now seeing all these girls gaining weight as well after they stopped, like, full-time modeling, it's like, no, everyone was fucking struggling. No one was at that weight that we were, naturally. Like, it's just insane. Sorry, I'm on a rant. But yeah, it's a tough job. Even though, like, that's so cliche to say, but, like, it seems so easy. And, like, of course, we don't have to write essays. We don't have to, like, academically super intelligent or have any requirements. But it takes so much, like, human and emotional intelligence to try to fucking survive this industry. Like, you have to have the thickest skin. You have to be so sure of yourself. Like, I always say, like, I'm a really confident person. I've always been really confident. I don't know why. Like, in myself. And I don't know how girls do it that are just, like, like, every teenager is, like, really insecure and unsure about themselves. And I don't know how these girls, if they start at, like, 16, 15, whatever, if you're already having self-doubts in those times and then you get thrown into the modeling industry, bro, you are gonna get fucking destroyed. Like, that shit is so hard. And, like, wait, I thought I would do this, like, a little nicer without, like, holding it. But yeah, as I was saying, like, if you're young and get thrown into this industry, it can literally destroy your body image for the rest of your life. And, like, it's so traumatizing. I started when I was, how old was I? I got scouted in my hometown in fucking Wiesbaden, in my local Zara, when I was 13. And I had I never wanted to be a model. Like, I was 13. I wasn't aware of my own appearance. I had no idea what I looked like. I never considered myself pretty or tall or skinny. Like, that just wasn't in my realm of thinking. And then, when I was asked, I was just like, and like, what the fuck is this? Like, I have no idea. And then, you know, I kind of knew like, oh, this is, you know, this is like quite cool and this is interesting, whatever. And in the beginning, I thought it was just not gonna turn into anything anyway. I thought this was just like a joke that's gonna like end in like a month. And then all of a sudden, you know, I was doing all these things and I was like, oh, if I'm doing these things, it can't be that special. Because I didn't think I was, you know, special or like anything. And I was like, oh, if this is happening to me, like this can't be that amazing. Just it sounds quite bad, but like, yeah, I wasn't even like, bro, I was 14 when I 14 or 15 when I walked my first fashion week in Italy, and I was just like, I don't fucking know what's happening. I don't fucking know what's happening. I'll just do my thing. And, you know, at that age, like 14, 15, I was obviously, like, I had the right measurements because I was a child. I had the body of a child. And then I remember the first time, like, my mother agency told me, like, that shit sticks for me for the rest of my life. Like, the first time they said, like, oh, there's a little bit of, like, baby fat on your hips, you know, that's gonna go away. Maybe they told me that when I was, like, 16. That was not baby fat. That was me getting hips and becoming a woman. So it only got worse. It did not go away. And I took, like, in my final year of high school, I took a year off for my final exams. I wanted to focus and didn't want to miss any school because we like it. The school is important. And I want to get, like, a good, you know, Abitur. A good, not a good STD. SITs? No. Like, I just tried to find the word, like the right comparison in English, whatever, in American system. But yeah, I wanted to go final grade, so I took a year off. And then right after, sorry, this turned into a fat rant. And then after I graduated, I just turned 18 in the summer, I went to New York after taking a year off of modeling, which was a rookie mistake anyway. Because once you have, like, momentum in the industry, you cannot take a break. You have to keep that momentum going. And I fudged it up a little bit with that, but what ifs. And then when I went to New York, like, I remember I came into the agency and, like, in that last year of school, bro, I didn't restrict what I was eating. I was eating whatever the fuck I wanted. Like, I was just, I didn't know how to restrict. I didn't know how to, like, look at calories or, like, whatever, you know, we had to do to, like, lose weight. I literally had no idea because I always had, like, up until then, I had a quite healthy relationship with food. And then, yeah, I came to New York and that was, like, the beginning of August 2016. And I went into the agency and the first thing they said, like, they took me into a different room. My booker, like a grown lady. And she was like, you know, you have at least the Americans, positive I have to say about New York. Like, it's really tough, but at least I feel like the Americans, they're really, like, they're quite kind, at least in the way they say things. Like, they don't want to hurt you. They're really considerate. Like, in Paris and Milan, they're like, this is how it is. You fat. You need to lose weight. Like, not wrapped up nicely. Just straight facts. But in New York, they were like, you know, you have a beautiful body. Like, you're a beautiful woman. But, you know, if you want to do this, like, you need to lose, like, I don't fucking know how much I had to lose. Like, maybe 5 centimeters off my hips, because I was supposed to do, I was going to do, I don't even think I did New York Fashion Week that time, because I was too big. But yeah, I was supposed to lose, like, 5 centimeters off my hips in the span of 3 weeks. And that's why I think I didn't end up doing Fashion Week that time, because I obviously did not achieve that. That's why, like, now, you know, it took me, like, I stopped full-time modeling the summer of 2019 because I started studying autumn 2019. And it took me, like, 2 years to get back to, like, a healthy relationship with food. I mean, for the amount of, you know, for the fact that basically the majority of my life I was told that I'm too big and too fat, and then that I needed to lose weight. I'm grateful that it only took 2 years to go back to, like, a healthy mindset about food and my body. But yeah, that shit did scar me for life. Why am I getting emotional? But yeah, it's quite traumatic. Like, I, oh, Jesus. Like, I always loved food and like, sorry, I don't know what's going on. I always loved food so much. And like, in the beginning, I realized, like, my family and we didn't know, like, my parents, we didn't know what was gonna happen and like how this industry is. Okay, I'm getting myself together. But in the beginning, my dad was, so excited and he was so curious and he was so proud of everything I was doing. But within the years, like, he realized so quickly, he was like, I don't really want my daughter to be doing this, because he saw, like, every time I was, at home, like, he saw how little I was eating, and how much I was eating took over my whole life. Like, it was all like, it consumes you. If you restrict your food, that's all you can think about. And, he saw, like, with the years, oh shit, this is not nice for my daughter. And my whole life, I loved food so much. And, like, people that know me I mean, I don't know if that also maybe is a bit of like a response to like restricting for so long, but I think no, I think I've always loved food and I loved eating, and that was so, taken away from me for so long, and, turned into something really bad, which is quite sad. And that, that goes for so many girls. Like, I know so many girls that have, disordered eating. One time a friend of mine said, not all models have an eating disorder, but all models have disordered eating at one point. And that is so true. And this whole tantrum just stems off of my agency, asking for new Polaroids. Polaroids are like just really simple pictures of you, usually like in your underwear, like a bra and underwear and heels, just showing off your body well to clients, and so they can see your hair and how you look like currently, because models' weight fluctuates because we all, or like, most girls get weak and, start eating more because they just can't do it anymore. And that's why, like, it's so much gaining and losing weight and gaining and losing weight, because, it's like basically the same they say about dieting. It doesn't work, because at one point you just snap and the more you restrict, the more you crave those things. So that's why girls are like, gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, lose weight. And that was for me at least the case, and I think a lot of girls have the same. I think there's only very few that have like a steady, very, very small measurements. It's been 2 years since I stopped full-time modeling. And I think I was so lucky because my ex, he helped me so much. I think just in general, getting in a relationship and having a male view of food and nourishing, and just, like, especially like boys that are naturally quite skinny, they usually have like a really good relationship with food, because they see food as like, oh, you need to eat, like, it's to fuel your body, like, it's part of life, you need to eat. And if you're full, then you stop eating. And I feel like they have, I don't know, maybe that's generalizing, like, sometimes, like, skinny boys, like, they forget meals, which is like another problem anyway. But I think usually they have quite a healthy mindset about food, and they see food as it is, like something you need and something that shouldn't be like demonized or restricted. So I think just getting in a relationship really, 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 really helped me getting back to a more healthy relationship to food, because they just made me see, like, it's, like, you don't need to feel guilty when you eat a cookie and fries and whatever it is, like, you don't need to feel guilty about anything. And I think also, like, COVID helped me quite a lot. I was mostly at home, no one saw me except, like, my ex. And at the moment, he loved me the way I was, and like how like a partner should be, like, love you the way you are, no matter what, like, if you gain weight, lose weight, whatever. And I think that helped so much, like, seeing that, oh, like This is getting so deep. But like, oh, I can be loved, you know, even if I'm heavier. Like, you know, I can still be like seen as beautiful, even if I'm like, you know, like have like 100 centimeter hip. And that was so, I think, so important for me, like hearing someone like quite neutral. Not neutral, but like, you know, someone like quite new to my life just love me the way I was, and like just appreciate me the way I was even when I was heavier. Fuck. But yeah, so moral of the story, modeling fucks you up for the rest of your life. No, but I'm talking about the negatives right now. There's also obviously so many positives, which I can talk about in another video. But yeah, this is everything that got triggered just because, you know, my agency asked for Polaroids. And like now, like I can put the pictures here that I just took. Like I don't want to show off, or like I don't want to be pitied, you know, but the way I'm looking right now, I could never do fashion week. Like they would, if I show up like this, they would fucking laugh at me. They would be like, your boobs are way too big. I don't want to praise myself saying, oh my god, I have big boobs or whatever, but like there was also one thing my whole life, like they always told me I had too big, my boobs were too big, and they don't want boobs. Like sometimes they not tape them, but like wrap them so they would appear smaller at castings or shows. Not shows, but castings. And like the way I look right now, like I can never do fashion week. They would tell me, they would laugh in my face and be like, yo, you have to lose like 6 kilograms. I just want to quickly explain, like I'm not trying to show off like my body or anything. I just want to like showcase that, you know, like I'm not saying this to be like, oh, tell me that I'm still so skinny and I don't know, you know. I just wanted to show, like, even though like people would consider me skinny, yeah, this is like not enough, you know, to do, you know, these jobs. And I just want to showcase like how fucking intense it is, like the fact that I'm, you know, like, oh fuck, I don't know if I sound like conceited. Like I just wanted to show like that the way I look now is just, that's not what they want. Like they want even, or like not even skinnier, not that I'm like the skinniest person in the world, but like, I hope you know what I'm saying. And don't take it the wrong way. And you know, like everyone that's outside the fashion industry, like, you know, normal people, like normal, like not fashion people, they look at me now and they're like, you know, that's with every model their whole life. Like normal people are like, oh my god, you're so skinny. And like, oh my god, do you eat? Like, oh my god, you're so skinny. And then like in the industry, they're like, oh my god, you're so fat. So yeah, this is gonna be a long video. I need to stop playing with that thing. But yeah, it is quite hard. And I'm glad. Like, I loved the time, you know, and I had so much amazing experiences. And I don't think I would change anything, but you need to know what you're signed up for. And I think not a lot of girls know that, especially at that age, that, you know, some girls get scouted. But yeah, that's all I have. I hope this was interesting. Sorry for the little meltdowns. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and it was like insightful and informative maybe. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. Bye.